All right, how's it going, everyone? Nick Atkin here. Hope you're all good. It is time. It's a Sunday show, a new time. Sorry, trying it out. I haven't done a Sunday show in. I don't know if I've ever done one actually. I was going to say in a long time. I really can't remember ever doing things on a Sunday. Normally, I'm so tired when I come back from a fight week that I have to wait to Monday to do my recap. But I only went for 2 days this time. Flew in on Friday, came home on Saturday. So I'm relatively fresh. I slept a decent amount on Friday night as well, and yesterday. So thought I'd do it, get it out of the way. No, it's a pleasure. I want to dive right in, and actually like doing it on Sundays. Things are a bit fresher, aren't they? And we've got a lot to talk about from One Fight Night 36. Let me know your thoughts on the show, of course, in the comments there, and drop a message. I'll say hi. I haven't got many people in at the moment. I haven't done a show for a while. I'm sorry. Yes, been a long time. I can't remember the last podcast. I'm going to look now. It was a while ago. Things have been pretty busy in my life. I had my first child about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, crazy, crazy, crazy time. I was kind of out of action for the last 3 weeks or so. Apologies. Yes, my last podcast was on the 8th of September. So the last one was the recap of One Fight Night 35. I'm very sorry. Been a month between shows, so my bad. I'll be back a bit more frequently now, I promise. Already got things lined up for Wednesday. Gonna have Rui Botello on the show. He's got a lot to talk about, a lot of things to say, and sure he will be making a call out of a certain Jonathan Di Bella, who is the new One Championship strawweight kickboxing champion. I don't know if you saw it, but yes, that was the main event of One Fight Night 36. That was obviously a huge talking about. Unanimous decision went for John over Prajan Shai at Lumpini Stadium. And of course, how can we not mention the co-main event, Aung La N Sang retiring in Bangkok, hanging up or laying down, shall I say, his gloves in the middle of the ring. One championship legend. He means so much to so many people, myself, and I'm sure many of you. I see the comments; they just all suddenly popped up on screen. I thought no one was watching. It said I had 3 viewers, and suddenly it says 46. So that's cool. How is the stream? Let me know. My Wi-Fi is a little iffy. It's acting up earlier, so if the stream is bad, tell me in the comments. I'll try and switch over to another Wi-Fi here. Oh wow! Suddenly, so many people messaging. Hello. I thought no one was watching. That's great. Lewis, one of my members. Shout out to Lewis. Shout out to all my members. It really helps. A little bit of extra money for me to pay my contributors, such as Giuliano, my video guy, who was pretty busy last week while I was in Hong Kong. So I stayed here to help with the baby. So I missed the media day and the weigh-ins. I flew in for Friday, as I said. But yeah, he was pretty busy. So yeah, if you want to help me out, consider becoming a member. It'd be really cool. Every little helps. I think it's about $5 a month, that kind of thing. You get a little bit of extra stuff you can see if you click the button. But yeah, thanks, Lewis. What's up? The goat is streaming. Thank you, gorillas are cool animals. Appreciate you. Keith, another of my members. What's up? Love to hear from you, Keith. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. We're gonna get into it soon. Thank you so much, bro. Says Saw Yan. Thank you for watching. And Fit by Coach A says hi, Nick. Hello to you too. Hello, bro, from Lao FC. I'm FC of you, sir. Thank you for watching. So many of you in the house. Some new Burmese fans, I'm sure. I picked up a lot of Burmese followers on Facebook the last week or so. I always do whenever Aung La fights. I used to get a lot of interest, obviously, from his many fans, and the channel would just blow up. This was on the SCMP channel, which I no longer work for, obviously. But yeah, I created that channel in 2019. I was telling Ong this, and I was writing about it last week. I don't think I'd have a career without him. You know, and I mean that in all seriousness, because I think I launched that channel in June or something that year, July. Wasn't really doing much, and then I went to the Tokyo show in October that year when Aung La fought Brandon Vera. It was a great card, double card. Obviously, Angela Lee also fought. She beat Zhong Jingnan. Demetrius Johnson was on it. So many big names. I even forgot Rodang was on it. So the funny thing was, I gave Aung La a gift this week when I saw him. I had the program from that show. You know those old things they used to do. They give you a physical program. So I kept it for about 6 years. I've been moving it from apartment to apartment, and I was thinking like, oh, should I just throw this away? But it's come in handy. I thought it might one day. So I gave it to Aung La as a gift, just a nice souvenir. He's on the front of it with him and Brandon Vera, and there's a nice centerfold of them. He was pretty touched by it. Yeah, I think he liked it. But I was telling him, yeah, that channel was nothing until I interviewed Aung after that fight, and then I went back to the hotel. I remember I was chatting with Leon Jennings from Asian Persuasion MMA, my old buddy Leon, and we were I think we went to 7-Eleven and got some beers or something, or he got something silly like a bottle of rosé. Weird guy. Shout out to Leon, love Leon. And yeah, I uploaded that video, and suddenly it just went crazy, like thousands of followers instantly. Overnight, I think I gained like 10,000, something mad. So yeah, my whole career covering one championship launched then, and subsequently every time Aung La fought, I covered his fights on the channel, and yeah, just same scenario, gained so many followers, new followers, and interactions with the Myanmar fans. So I mean it sincerely when I say to Aung, I wouldn't have a career without him, and I mean it to all the Myanmar fans who follow me now on my own channel here and my Facebook page, things like that. I wouldn't be anything without any of them, with any of you. So I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Genuinely, you guys are awesome, and I love the love that you have for Aung La. It was incredible seeing the support you gave him. We'll get into it. I got some cool videos, but yeah, here's some more. Oh, Stamkos is back. Nick #1, and Andrade #1. Yeah. Will you ever create a Discord server for one? Gorillas are cool animals. Well, I do have a little Discord server. Currently, it's sort of only for members only. That's one of the perks of being a member. I have a little chat group. We'll see if we can't expand it though. Yeah, if people want to think it's a good idea and want to do it, I can expand that whole thing. I just didn't know if there was any interest in it. I'm kind of old. I'm 37. I don't know really how to use Discord, but it is quite fun. We have a chat group on there. Whenever there's a card on, people are talking. It's fun. How are you? I'm good, Igawai. How are you? I hope I pronounced your name right there. A lot of Myanmar fans in the house here with the flag. Hello to you too, sir or madame. I don't know. All right. Let's do this. So we're going to recap. I can't stay forever tonight. It's as I've said earlier, I just had a kid, so my missus is out there feeding her and all that. I don't want to leave her alone all night. You know how I am. I can talk all night about one championship. And yeah, first things first, I really enjoyed the show. And yeah, I wasn't going to go initially. I was going to stay here, but then, yeah, the baby's been pretty calm, pretty chill. So the missus said, why don't you go out there? I wanted to stay and help her with everything. But yeah, our baby's been really pretty easy to deal with. And she said, yeah, I'll just go for a night. She knew how much Aung La meant to me, and I had to see Aung La retire, and I'm glad I did. It was worth it. It was a special moment. Yeah, I had to tell Aung La as well, and what he meant to me. Yeah, it's been a huge part of my career and my life. He's the man. But yes, there's a lot of talking points. We'll get into it, and one of them is Olivier Coste. Apparently, a lot of people are unhappy with Olivier Coste. Wood to White, what's up, sir? Good to see you again. Says, in my opinion, Olivier Coste is the best referee I've seen so far. He's always strict with the rules. He doesn't care what your nationality is. All he wants is the justice. And JDB should have won since the first time, actually. Keep up the good work, Olivier the Boss Cost. Yes, Olivier's been taking some flack. I'll get into that. But yeah, let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen. Let me know your thoughts on the show in the chat. Well, let's just jump into this because I've already waffled on a lot about everything. Here we go. I haven't loaded this up. It hasn't got the results on it. There it is. Okay. Yeah, well, where should we start? We should obviously start with the main event, Prajanchai and Jonathan Di Bella. Thought it was another excellent fight. Technical, as you'd expect, between these two guys. I wasn't expecting a knockout. I don't think either of them were. It's so hard. People talk. There was a talk of killer instinct before, yada yada. But when you get to this high level, it's really hard to get a knockout against such quality fighters like Di Bella, like Prajanchai, in the bigger gloves as well of kickboxing and without elbows. So, and that's fine. I think there's so many other finishes and knockouts usually on one cards in Muay Thai and MMA. So kickboxing is usually for me more of a chess match. I still love watching those fights, especially between the high level practitioners. So thought this was a great fight. And it played out similarly to the first one in terms of Jon had a really hot start for 3 rounds. And then I think jet lag caught up with him a little bit and fatigue. And Prajanchai came back in the 4th round, did really well. But I think the main difference is Jon then rallied for the 5th round. And you can see on the scorecards, it was, I can bring those up now, actually. Yeah, 49-46 across all 3 of the scorecards. The judges all had Prajanchai taking only the 4th round. Yeah, so Jon won 1, 2, 3, and 5. I totally agree with that assessment. I think it's perfect. I think it was spot on. Abby Nelson, Ian Cartwright, and Shane Byrne. And I have to say, great to see Shane Byrne back. He wasn't there last couple of months, I think. So really glad to see Shane back. I think Shane is the best judge in one championship. But the funny thing is, I normally agree with everything Shane says, but he had Prajanchai winning the first fight, which I thought Jon won the first fight as well, but none of the judges did. So I have watched that fight back, and I can see why the judges went for Prajanchai. Like, it was super close, especially like the rounds I thought Jon won were very, very close. And I think it could go either way, but I still thought Jon won them, and a lot of people did. It wasn't a robbery by any means. I don't think anyone is saying the judges are corrupt, things like that. I felt Jon won, and Jon had to go on this long journey of 15 months to get the belt back, so you can see what it means to him there, the emotion. But yeah, the scores are right. And also, I want to praise Olivier Coste because I think Olivier did a great job reffing. I know he's getting a lot of stick, shall we say, on social media. I think from fans who aren't happy about certain things. I know that there's a controversial knockdown call in the Aslam Ortikov fight with Kongtorny. I thought Olivier did a great job in this main event. Because one of the things from the first fight was Prajanchai kept on clinching and grabbing Di Bella, and it went unpunished. I think Ricky Saul was the ref first time, and again, I love Ricky, great ref and great guy. I think if it was Ricky, I think it was, yeah. I just think he should have yellow carded Prajanchai, and Olivier did this time. I can't remember which round it was, but it sort of threw Prajanchai off a little bit as well. I think he realized he's not going to get away with that. I think it was a tactic to try and throw Jon off his game and disrupt him. And obviously they got away with it the first time, and this time it didn't work. So, yeah, I think that was a turning point. Maybe when Jon saw the yellow card, it may have given him that extra boost to recover. I mean, literally would have given him a break in the ring to get his breath back. But I think the mental boost he would have got from that may have seen him over the line, because Prajanchai was coming back into the fight. But yeah, great call that, and there was more. There was some bad blood, I thought, between these two. Prajanchai kept hitting him late. After the bell or after Olivier would break up those clinches. There's a few instances he fired off a couple extra shots, and one time it was really blatant. He caught Jon twice, and Jon fired back verbally. And I think Jon did the sign in. If you watch football, and Jon's a big Napoli fan, from what I saw, he might say it was different, but it looked like he did that, which means give him a card. You do this to the referee if you want them to get a card, if they foul you or whatever, or if they dive. So I think he wanted Prajanchai to get another card because of that. And Olivier was very, very stern and said, "I'm the referee. You do not make the calls. I do." So yes, that he didn't get another card, but I thought Olivier did good there. I don't know what specifically everyone is super upset with him about, but I'm sure people will tell me. But anyway, here is the I put on screen the decision. Yeah. I was still a little unsure if Jon would get it because I thought he won. But even I looked over at Giuliano after, when they're about to read it out, and I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Jon." And I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, he won every round." And I said, "I don't know about that." And you never know. You never know what judges see, what you see can be very different. And Jon's dad told me as well, Angelo, I think they were also kind of saying in the corner, "What do you think?" And I think they were still not sure because you never know. And you can see the relief on everyone's face that they are the team hugging. Great to see Justin again. And Howard, I think it was. I met another one of the coaches who lives out in Montreal, has a boxing gym, I think, that Jon trains at too. Very nice team. Great to see them all. But what I really loved about this fight, well, first of all, I thought Jon gave a good post-fight interview as well in the ring, touching on the killer instinct thing. He got a $50,000 bonus, obviously, as well. But this was great. I talked to Jon backstage. I interviewed him, and then Prajanchai came in. I think he was waiting in the room when I was interviewing. I didn't really see him, but one of the last questions I asked Jon was, do you have genuine bad blood with Prajanchai? You two look like you were going at it in the ring, and I know they had this 15 months of beef after the first fight, but this was really nice to see. Prajanchai came in and he said, well, I've got it somewhere. Basically, he congratulated Jon and said, "You were very strong," and thanked him. I thought it took a lot of courage to come in and do that, and he kind of misty-eyed and he looked like he'd been crying a bit. So, I gained a lot of respect for Prajanchai. I do think he's pound for pound number one across every division and sport. I don't know if you could ever make that sort of ranking in one championship, but maybe just striking only. But yeah, he is still pound for pound number one. And I think to be that good, you probably have to be a bit kind of arrogant sometimes, or like believe yourself, be your own hype. But I think this was probably, a tough loss for him, because who's he ever lost to? I think only Lasiri when he got cut. I think he had to quit on the stool. Normally he's knocking everyone out. So yeah, this was a huge moment in his life, and I thought this was really just great to see. And Jon was really cool here as well. And he said he gave Prajanchai the belt, and they posted pictures together. The belt. He said we're both champions forever, and yeah, it was just a nice, wholesome moment between them. And this was also cool. Jon with Aung La, and I think Jon will get a nice bump in popularity from this show. It's sort of like the Aung La effect, whenever McGregor fought in UFC, everyone would love to get on the pay-per-view with him because your following would go up tenfold on your social media, because those shows are just so much more watched by people. And I think that's the case with Aung La. His fights, there's so many more people tuning in from Myanmar, obviously. So I'm sure Jon will get a lot of new Burmese fans as well from this. Yes, what I loved was, yeah, also Prajanchai with John's parents. There they are. That was very cool to see. You know, it's been a tough 15 months. I know Angelo here wanted to get the belt back. It took them a while. You know, they had to go the unconventional route. They fought Rui, and then did the interim belt with Sam A. Prajanchai was then going and doing his Muay Thai thing, and then it looked like he was going to defend the Muay Thai belt again after defending it in February. It looked like he was going to fight Alif, the face-off, and I think Di Bella team were losing hope. You know, they're going to get this unification match, and they just want to fight. You know, because John's in the prime of his life. He's 29. They want to fight as many times a year as they can, and they were waiting for Prajanchai for so long. So things got a little fractious, and Prajanchai also said a few things I think they didn't like about the killer instinct, and he was looking to fight Takeru in a super fight. So yeah, it was a tense relationship, but you know, all's well ends well. I think they've all kissed and made up. But yeah, what I loved as well was Di Bella. This is my write-up on his interview. You can go and read it actually at bangkokpost.com. Why not? If you like to read things still. I don't know if many people do, but oh God, I can't even see it on their website. Oh dear, guys, please upload it. It's all right. I have a link here, so I'll just link out to the. Oh, do I? Incorrect link. Here it is. Okay, I'm gonna link to that on the screen. Excuse me one sec. Okay. Bangkok Post. All right, yeah, this is my. I wrote 2 opuses today, so please go and read them if you want. It's free. There's no, what do you call it? Paywall. Yeah, just click it. You might have to close an ad or 2. Sorry, but you know, get an ad blocker. You'll be fine. But anyway, yes, the main takeaway, I guess you could say, is he wants to fight Prajanchai again, but for the Muay Thai title, and he wants to do it in America at Madison Square Garden. But yeah, just some really cool stuff. I enjoyed my interview with Jon. He was in a good mood. I got my quill out, so to speak. Got a bit rosy with this piece. Started having fun with it. Yeah, you might need like 5-10 minutes to read it. So I know people don't have much time, but I like this piece. I thought it was quite good. But anyway, there's the yellow card for Prajanchai. What I would focus on, yeah, is you can scroll right down to the end. Here's the stuff about their nice backstage cuddle and hug. But yes, the thing that I want to talk about here. Sorry, my brain isn't working. He grinned and asked, "What's next?" I'm just getting started. I feel like I'm entering my prime now, 29. Maybe I'll defend soon. I don't want to wait another year and a half. Maybe a super fight at another weight. I've got Muay Thai skills nobody's seen yet. Then came the challenge that made reporters sit up. I'd like to fight Prajanchai again, but this time for his Muay Thai title. In my part of the world, let's do it at Madison Square Garden. MSG, baby. There it is. So, what do you think about that? He wants. And now, let me preface this. So, I did speak to them after. You know, I was chatting to them in the hotel, and Di Bella's not saying he wants to go and do, you know, Muay Thai. Wants to switch over to Muay Thai and fight Muay Thai frequently. You know, there's a lot of guys who bounce between both. For him, it's like a one and done. You know, he wants to, because everyone's always asking him when it comes time, are you going to fight Muay Thai? Obviously, he's an incredibly skilled striker, so why not? Eh? Obviously, it's different though. Muay Thai, you got elbows and such, and smaller gloves in one. So the way he's looking at it is, I'll do it one time, but only if it's for the belt. We'll do the trilogy with Prajanchai for his belt, but he's got to come to America as well because I always come here. So a lot of hurdles to negotiate there if we're going to see Jon Di Bella in Muay Thai. But I think it would be a really cool fight to make. And you want to jump on these things when they happen because they lost that. I think they've lost the chance to do the Andrade Haggerty MMA thing, which was intriguing, to say the least. Don't know how it would have gone, but I don't know. Some people may not like it. I know Beyond Kickboxing, love those guys. They commented the thumbs down on the post on Instagram, but I like to see it. I think John's not going to basically. The thing is, John's not going to do Muay Thai unless it's worth it, and it's got to be worth his time and the damage that his face is going to take. So, and we know how good Pradenchai is with elbows. Beating Pradenchai in kickboxing is already hard enough, but Muay Thai, he's a different animal there. So that's the story of that. Let me know if you want to see that fight. But Anonymous says, another member, what's up, Anonymous, says that two sport gold stuff is a trap. Combat Sports Today in the house. Another member, shout out, says, finally back to watch a show again. Yeah, maybe this time slot's good for everyone. Sunday night shows. Anonymous says, why is Olivier the only ref in Fight Night? I don't know. I didn't even realize until, I think it was last month, he suddenly started doing every fight. Yeah, I don't understand. So everyone jumping on him as well. You got to realize he flies from France. I think he gets in on Thursday or something. Then he does 3 or 4 fights at Friday fights. Then he goes to the hotel, probably gets 4 hours sleep back at Lumpini. Then he does 10 fights, whatever, 9 fights, 8 fights. So yes, it's not ideal. But just remember that when you type things about him, he's a nice guy as well. I think he's really good. I don't know what everyone's on his case about, but let me know. Oh, sorry, I should have brought water in here. I've been a little sick as well the last few weeks. Also why I haven't done many shows. My voice, as you can tell, is a bit hoarse. So when is Pradenchai defending his Muay Thai belt next? Mr. Lewis asked. So, well, the plan was, from what I understand, to do that in December, 1174. I mean, Chatri even sort of announced that. They haven't made that fight or that show official yet, though. But, Pradenchai is posting on Instagram today that his legs are all banged up. I'm going to try to show it on here. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, they do not look good. Oh, can't see it. It's somewhere. Maybe it was on Facebook or he deleted it. Maybe they were like, no, we need you to do a main event. You can't have an injury. So, yeah, from what I saw, he had pretty bruised and busted legs. So it's touch and go whether that'll happen. I don't know. But nice to see all of the pictures he's taken with them again. So that's the plan, Lewis. Yeah, I'm hearing some interesting things about that card. Location wise, can't say anything yet, but yeah, could be interesting. I imagine they need to make announcements soon because we're in October and it would be in December. So I would expect that if it goes ahead, I think they'll probably announce it next week. But yeah, the plan was Pradenchai and Alif. And I've heard another name on there, which you'll all enjoy. But anyway, let's see what happens. Judges have been questionable lately, says Anonymous, especially on Friday fights. Chester also asking why Olivier is doing the entire card. I think he's the best there is, but that's a lot for one man. More Aung La love here. Cost is a popular judge. I think people praise his skills. Says gorillas are cool animals. But yeah, a lot of people. Some people are agreeing he's number one. Chester likes him. Other people are asking why he's doing all the fights. I don't really know. That does seem like a lot. Yeah, it is tough. It is tough. TLP Myanmar channel says, I can't find Aung La N Sang. Where is he? I don't know. I didn't see Aung. I didn't see Aung at the Aung La fight. I was shocked. I thought he would be there. Yeah, very surprised. I don't know why. Maybe he was there. I just didn't see him. Aung La N Sang is, if you don't know, like the #1 Burmese journalist covering one championship and Muay Thai and everything and Lethway. So yeah, he's a great dude. Known him for a few years now. Okay, I better get back to my recap. But yeah, that is Di Bella. Now we're gonna talk about Aung La. Oh dear, yeah, it wasn't a dry eye in the house, I'm sure. So yeah, Aung La, well documented, retiring, and it was the type of fight that Aung La would have loved. Two gunslingers, no one's gonna shoot, and yeah, it was pretty fun. It wasn't neither man was in their prime, you know what I mean. And if we'd seen this fight 5-6 years ago, I think it would have been a lot better, shall we say. But it was still intriguing, and yeah, I think Aung La got the finish. Cool, calm, calculated, precise strikes, just like he always does when he gets that finish. He never rushes in. And you should have heard the noise inside that stadium when he got that finish. I never heard a wall of sound like that. It's insane. Yeah, I'm glad I got to witness it and be there. And I'm a little pissed because I missed the walkout, and he had the singer from the band who does his song. I forgot the name, but he's got this incredible Burmese rock song. So yeah, the singer is called Lay Pew or Pew. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. The anthem is Ame Like a Car. I hope I pronounced that right too. I'm sorry to the Burmese fans here, but it's a banger, great song. And yeah, shit's about to go down when Aung La walks out to that. So yeah, great finish. Sad I missed the entrance. I was backstage interviewing a few people. Yeah, just sometimes it works out like that, because the way the card was, there were 3 Russians back to back, and they all won. So I had to, well, not Russians, but Russian speakers. So I had to wait for the translator Diana because she had to stay ringside in case they all won, right? So you had Akif, who's Azerbaijani, you had Sanjar, who's Uzbekistan, and Mansour, who's Russian, and they all won. So I was waiting for all of those fights to finish so I could interview them because need Diana. And then, yeah, while I'm doing that, then you had Kongtorny and Ortikov. So I missed that one. I think I caught like the end of it, but yeah, then I missed the walkout for Ong and Kazakhstan. So I was gutted, but it looked pretty cool on TV. Anyway, that's the finish, and yeah, Aung La got a 50K bonus too. Here he is laying down his gloves in the ring, and it was very emotional. Like I said at the top of the show, I've known Aung for 6 years or so now, and I've seen him through the highs and the lows. I just wish I'd been there in 2018 or whenever it was. I think when he won the second belt, and yeah, I wish I'd seen those fights in Yangon before the military coup, and just sad I never got to see him fight in his home country there. I heard it was special. I mean, I've heard the stadium here shaking, but I can't imagine how much crazier it would have been back home for him. So yeah, emotional moment. And yeah, laying the gloves down there. It's just the end of an era, like I said. You can read my piece on Bangkok Post. I'll bring it up in a minute. But I said in that piece, yeah, end of an era, and here he is walking out of the arena one last time. you know, this guy, he's something special. You don't really realize how popular he is until you see him in front of these Burmese fans, and here it is. You know, this is outside Lumpini Stadium. My internet's not playing ball here. Oh, it's frozen. Okay, doesn't like that video. That's Jon Di Bella. But anyway, yeah, he walked out, and there was 1,000 or maybe 500 Burmese fans, all a sea of them waiting around the steps, you know, just for a glimpse of Aung La. And he comes out. They were waiting in the rain. It was pouring rain, and then they're probably waiting for an hour because he had to go to medical. He had a nasty eye injury. And, you know, I see a lot of people saying the fight was rigged. The fight was this and that. But yeah, Ong's eye was, one of them was almost entirely shut. The right one. Kadistam I also saw in the hotel. We had a chat. He had bandaged over one eye or something, stitches. So, you know, if it's fake, good performance from both men. But yeah, it was just humbling to see Ong one last time with his people. I'm gonna try and reload this page so maybe it works so you can see it, but there it is. Forgive me. I should have brought water in. There he is. And they're all going crazy for him. I'm not turning on the sound because it's super loud, I've heard. But or maybe I can fix that. But no, I'm not gonna risk it. It's like deafening when I turn on the sound on my videos. But there he is. You can see just how many people are there. That's Henry Hooft, Nate Marquardt. I hope I pronounced his name right. UFC legend, I believe. Mickey Gall, another UFC legend. He's so nice. They're all lovely, his team. And yeah, he's just being mobbed by these people. It's so fun. But yeah. And then I spoke to Ong. He had so many interviews, and then, you know, he did them all. He never complains. I've seen a few fighters after they get asked to do their third interview, whatever, they pull a face. They want to go eat, whatever, shower. Ong never seen him grumpy, or he does everything. Speaks to everyone, always puts everyone ahead of himself. Just an all-round great dude. The only time I ever seen him mad was when he missed weight for the Shamil fight in Qatar last time, the second one. He was so mad at himself. He could barely talk. But yeah, he passed weight. And it's a shame. I wish he was sticking around. I feel like he's got more to give. And when you see how popular he is and how many fans he has here, I don't know why one, don't want to give him more fights or whatever, and say, why don't you stick around for a few more years? And here's a new contract. Because he's a machine for them in terms of engagement. I've seen the numbers on my account. You know, when it's Aung La Fight Week, you get so many new followers and shares and likes and engagement. You know, there's so many Saturday cards they could use Ong for. You know, these fight nights at Lumpini, sometimes those cards are not the most stacked or appealing, and you know, there's like not as huge a buzz about them. But this one was one of the biggest buzzes I've ever seen for a fight night, Saturday morning card at Lumpini, and they could really use Ong on those shows. I know they got Veronica next month, so I think, you know, she's being positioned as the new Aung La. That's a tough fight against Anissa Mekson. But anyway, yeah, I think, you know, Ong, could still carry on, but who knows? Maybe one day he will come back. But he's still so beloved by the people, and you could just give him cans to crush every few months. You know, that's all we want to see from Aung La. We don't want to see him fight, you know, Russian wrestlers and stuff. We want to just see him smash people. But anyway, I will take that off the screen. Sorry. Oh, I really should get water. I might text someone. My Instagram's broken. There's Manny. Okay. But yeah, Aung La was just such a hit at the hotel as well. I was taking pictures with everyone, selfies with everyone. I got more videos on my Facebook if you want to see. But yeah, he's giving out advice to Tanzin, Veronica. All these Burmese fighters came out to pay their respects. It was great to see. Yeah, I'm sad to see Aung La go. Yeah, just so many memories. I saw him defend both of his belts successfully in Japan. Against Ken Hasegawa. I didn't interview him after that one because that was my first ever one event. So I don't think they were even doing post-fight interviews. It was just like press conference, post-fight presser. They kind of wheeled out 8 fighters at a time in 3 lots, so like boom, boom, boom. And Ong was in one of them, but I don't think I even asked him a question. I didn't really know who he was, but then I was remarkably kind of impressed by his popularity even that night. You could sort of see the Myanmar effect, and then great fight as well. Just loved his style immediately, and that's when they set up the Brandon Vera fight. I think they did a face-off in the cage. So yeah, they then did that fight in October that year, and I did see him in August in Manila. He was cornering Martin for Martin's title defense against Kiyoji Matsushima, I think it was, and then Kiyomi Matsushima and Kiyoji, I can't remember. And then yeah, I asked him a question at the press conference, post-fight presser thing, and I could see the interaction between him and Martin, the banter. And then I got to see him at Tokyo Century, One Century, defeat Brandon Vera. Interviewed him, as I said earlier. Just went crazy. Then I saw him again in December in Malaysia, and that's when I really got to know him. Actually, I went to dinner with him and Martin. The same. I can't remember what I think. Yeah, Teal Tang was fighting in on the card. So Martin, he's a Burmese fighter as well, who was training at the same gym with Aung La in Florida, and Martin. And yeah, they were cornering him, so we had dinner. I was just joking around with them, and I remember what was really funny. Maybe they'll be mad at me for saying this, but I think it's okay now because they retired. But yeah, we were drinking wine, and then Henry Hoof kept calling them, and he wanted a video call or whatever, and they're like, "Oh shit, don't let him see us drinking." Yeah, he was very strict on that. Like, you can't drink. You can go on this trip, but no drinking. But yeah, they're having some red wine with me and a few others, like some of the PR people and other reporters. Yeah, Leon was there, so it was a really fun experience, and I got to know him, and I was just it's kind of like starstruck by him. How wonderful he was as a human being. You just really knew. And then I think he was lined up to fight Big Dash again in March 2020, and then the old COVID hit, and that was the end of it, man. Then I think he just had his second child around then, and the pandemic just kind of took away a couple years for him in his prime there, and when he did come back, it was Derrida, and Derrida took both of his belts, and I think that was super tough for Ong. He won't admit it, but I know how difficult it was for him because those belts meant everything to him, and I think he maybe felt inside, less personal, but he's not. The Ritter is so damn good. He's like you're seeing now. He's closing in on a title shot in the UFC. So René the Ritter is amazing. Yeah, just a shame for Ong that they came across each other, and then then he was fighting in empty arenas as well, Singapore. He had a bit of, I think he had a couple wins. Also lost to Big Dash in their trilogy. That was at MT Arena. It was frustrating time for him. But then he had a nice run where when the fans came back, and this is what I wanted to see more of with Aung La. They were just giving him guys to beat up basically, and that was the perfect use. I felt like maybe title run was, this is when Derrida was still there. Maybe getting the title back was beyond him at that point, but he was just knocking out people left, right, and center. Yushin Okami, Gilberto Galvao, Fan Rong in Denver. There's a guillotine choke, that one. But then, there was after the first Denver card, May 2023, there was a bit of a standoff while he waited for a new contract. Kind of waited a year and a half, I think it was. No, sorry, that's wrong. It's about, nearly a year and a half. So it took a year to get that contract, nearly a year to get the contract. So I remember he signed it in Japan, so it took about 18 months, 20 months. But then he was back and he was very excited. He was telling me, one last run. I got a 6-fight deal, 2 years. Gonna go for the belt. And at the time, Malakin, I think, was the champ, or maybe that hadn't happened yet. No, I don't think it happened. I think Malakin was going to be the champ. He was the champ at light heavyweight, but he was looking to take Derrida's middleweight belt, which he eventually did a couple months after that. So, it looked like Aung wanted Malakin, and I would have loved to see that fight, I really would have. But it never happened. He ran into Shamil Erdogan twice, sadly, and lost both of them. The second one obviously was pretty horrible, 28-second head kick KO. But like I said, he was so worked up and so mad that week about the weight miss. And the one in the second Denver show, ground and pound. Shamil Erdogan is very good. He's also very big. He's essentially a heavyweight. He's fighting at heavyweight in November. And he missed weight badly for the first fight between them, if I recall correctly, and he made it the second time. But you could look at him; he's gigantic, he's huge. I just think Aung was that for me, that wasn't a good matchup for him. I wouldn't have made that fight. But you have Shamil, and if you want to get Aung a title shot, he's probably the guy you had to go through. It didn't work out. And then I'm just glad, we got one more Aung La, vintage Aung La moment against Kadistan. So I'm sure, highs and lows, but he told me he's got no regrets. And that's the most important thing. But yes, Martin is a legend as well. I'm going to go back to the comments quickly here. But my thoughts on Aung La, just happy retirement, legend. So glad to have known him, seen him fight. I wish those last few years would have turned out a bit differently for him, because he's such a superstar. But anyway, okay, I'm going to the comments. Don't think 174 will happen in December if they haven't announced anything yet, Lewis says. That's what I think. You need like a 3-month lead up for a numbered event. You've got to sell tickets and such. The Hunting Dance. I think that's the song. Best intro ever. Anonymous says, missed opportunity to do this event at Impact Arena. It could have, but that's what I would have loved to see Aung go out on a numbered card in Bangkok Impact. Sorry, then you really would have had like 10,000 Burmese there. Good day, all. CFR Network, what's up? I liked how the wristbands were flashing Myanmar flag colors. Anonymous says, that was cool. CFR thought it looked like a work. Light sparring first round, then the show. Well, maybe they were taking it easy on each other. They are good friends, They've known each other a long time. They were both champions at the same time back in the day. Might have been tough to actually hit each other. You know, they like eat together during the week. I remember seeing them. I think um, their walkout song name in English is "The Hunting Dance." Yeah, it's a legendary song. I really like it. It's a banger. I'm losing my voice, so I won't carry on too much long. But I need to recap the rest of the card. Nick, I want to watch you fight in one championship. I don't know about that. I'm not sure I'll be any good. In fact, I know I won't be. Um, Anonymous also thought it's a work. They both agreed on it. Was a good ending for a guy his age and all the people who came to see him, though. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Kazakhstan was Ong was what 4-1 underdog or something crazy like that. I wouldn't have had it that way. Just a Dream in Water says, "What up, Nick? Yes, what up, Dream? Good to see you. A lot more Burmese fans here. Get Vera on a live show." Anonymous says, "Yeah, I thought about it before. Um, I interviewed her in Bangkok before the show or during the show, so I'm going to upload that sometime next week. Got some cool stuff from her. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can get her on live. That might break the internet in Myanmar. Okay." Martin is not Myanmar. He's Vietnamese. Yeah, Vietnamese Australian. Grew up in Australia. Okay. Story: the fight is awake. I don't think it was fixed, he says. I think Kyrgyzstan was not in it mentally or physically, especially after his last miss. Yeah, he told me he had a kidney issue. I think the last time. That's why he couldn't fight. Maybe he's still feeling the effects or whatnot. But you know, he's also getting on in age. I think he's 38. And he's been inactive. That was his first fight in how long? Yeah, 2023 May. It's like 2.5 years or something. I mean, obviously he was meant to fight earlier than that, but he failed dehydration. Okay, Grant says, "Hi Nick," but what's up, Grant? But also, you know, that was an inexplicable layoff for him before the Issy if Fifty Careful fight. I don't know how he didn't get a title shot after beating Soldich or interim title shot. I know Christian Lee was grieving death of his sister, but yeah, it was crazy how long Kazakhstan was left out, and he was right at the kind of end of his prime, you know. Anyway, thanks for all the coverage, says Grant. Thank you for watching, Grant. I appreciate your support. All right, back to the recap. I've been talking too long. I want to get through this because my voice is failing. Okay. Kontorny and Aslam John Ortikov. Unanimous decision for Ortikov. Yeah, this was a little bit controversial. Not the result, but Aslam was upset that he. Sorry, I need to switch screens. So he didn't like the knockdown call against him in the third round, I think it was. I don't have it on my clip here, but here is his knockdown of Kontorny. And yeah, so I think it's on his Instagram. Let me find it. So yeah, he was arguing, and he said this in my post-fight interview that Kontorny stepped forward like 3 or 4 times while holding his leg, which you're not allowed to do, and then he didn't hit him in the body. He hit him on the arm, and it shouldn't have been called as a knockdown. So he wasn't happy with Olivier. Here's the video, slowed down, but you see, yeah, he seems to hit Ortikov's kind of, I don't know what you call this part of the arm. Forearm, yes, that's it. Maybe the hand then hits the body. He's pointing at the arm. He was angry at Olivier. But he released this statement here saying, "I'll only talk about this once because I want to move forward from it." Well, unluckily for him, I'm going to clip up my interview with him and I'll drag it all up again. But before you judge or criticize, remember gold shines differently on each side. Anyway, after no, I just want to cut to the chase. He says, yeah, taking more than 2 steps while catching a kick is not allowed. Tony was warned many times throughout the fight, 4, possibly 5 times for this same infraction. Yeah, so he says, I don't want to say. He says, I don't want to blame Olivier Coste. He's one of the most experienced and respected refs in one. His decision to not to rule it a knockdown was correct. We as spectators only see from one angle while he was right there in the moment. I have great respect for my opponent, for one championship, the referees, their hard work, and everyone who supports us. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, that's it. There's a lot of drama there. So, Grant, I gotta get my belt back. It used to be next to my name. Yeah. I think you have to subscribe. I don't know if you stopped subscribing, bro, but if you subscribe, anyone, you get a belt next to your name, and you get a shout out from me. As little as that means. But no, I appreciate all my members. Grant also subscribes to me on Facebook, which if you want to help me out more, you can do that. I think that one's a lot cheaper. It's sort of like $1 a month, but every little helps. Right. I don't know why he's upset it was not counted, but what the reason for him to fold the way he did if the punch didn't hurt him? Just a dream in water says. I don't know. You know, it's high level fighters can get a bit highly strung sometimes, I think. But to be honest, I don't know why I spoke to him after, yeah, and the important thing is he still won the fight, and he will get into the rankings, and he will be right in the mix for a title shot now. It was an impressive performance. Sorry for Kong Torney now, 2 losses in a row. Like Kong Torney already deserved a title shot. Hopefully he can get back up there again soon. Right, what next? I need to race through these. My voice is gone. Jared Brooks, yeah. Here's old Jared. Smiling on the outside, but I'm sure hurting inside. Yeah, he was down. I spoke to him after the fight. You know, I'm not really sure what's going on with Jared. He seems to be doing all the right things that got him where he got to, the same things, but suddenly it's all going wrong. And I think this is the toughest thing for him, is he can't really figure out yeah, the problem. But what I would say, and I said this to him, is, you know, stop taking flyweight fights. You know, he's too small. He is a strawweight in one championship. And yeah, just fight strawweights. That's what you were really good at before. You were killing everyone. But some of these strawweight guys are huge as well, like Mansour, and even Pasio is pretty big. I think Pasio is talking about permanent move to flyweight, you know, so he's obviously fighting for the belt in Japan. There could be a vacant belt for Jared to go for one day, but you know, I also said to Jared maybe to regroup a bit mentally and switch things up. Perhaps he's maybe some new looks at a new cap. But yeah, very surprising, Mansour Malakiev, because Jared came out pretty hot in the first round, and again I told him as well, like maybe you should stop doing that, because he did it against Reese, he did it against Josh. Yeah, he just comes out, tries to get the finish so hard, expends all his energy, and then the second round he just kind of 10% less and gets caught somehow by his opponent. Josh did it. I think Reese kind of was able to exploit that in the second round. Didn't get a finish, but you know, Jared emptied the tank in the first round, and then Reese was comfortable after. And yeah, here, north-south choke for Mansour. I was so shocked. Yeah, this is coming from Reese, thing wild. Yeah, they don't like each other, those guys. But you can see how much smaller Jared is than Mansour. And yeah, this was a shock to Jared, shock to the system. Because I think for every loss in his career, he's had an explanation. You know, he knocked himself out against Shorty Torres. Figueiredo was a robbery. The Pasio DQ, himself again, slamming him on his head. The Reese fight, he was battling some injuries and things. He was telling me, and obviously he's smaller, coming up a weight class. The Pasio third fight, again he said he had some injuries and mental things. But then, I think this time he's not really got any excuses. He was saying, no excuses. What's the Insta May comment? Jackson is asking. Is that on my page here? I can't see it. I saw one from her somewhere, poking fun at Jared or something. Oh yeah, it's on the on the picture. Just a laughing emoji. Go on, I'll give it a like. I know there's no love lost between those two. Yeah, Jared talked a lot of shit about Reese, so that's Reese's wife, Insta May. Wife and manager, I think, or agent. So yeah. I respect that. And I think one of these lessons maybe for Jared, stop talking so much smack about opponents. Although that was what I loved about him when he was coming up, winning the belt. His personality was just as good as his fighting. But brutal game, yeah. But yeah, maybe now Jared's gonna have to take some humble pie and go and rebuild his confidence a bit. I think this was the wrong fight to take in hindsight. I thought he should have gone for Kaito Yamakita or Bokang again. Some of the smaller guys in his division. But he loves a challenge, he doesn't say no to a fight. But I believe in Jared. I think he can come back. But right now, a lot of it is mental as much as it is physical for him. And this one is going to hurt. But he was in good spirits. And I'm sad. I do like Jared. I hope he can get back to what we saw from him in that run to the belt, 2022, back into 21. Yeah. Grant says there was fraudulent activity on my credit card. Bank issued me a new card. Will update and join in the morning. Filthy. I've had that here. Yeah, Hong Kong has a lot of that. Grant lives in Hong Kong as well. Yeah, I had all my account was emptied once. It's crazy. And then my card got cancelled and I literally had no money. Doesn't make much of a change. I don't have much money always, but yeah, it sucks. I hope you got it all back, Grant. Or don't really bet on the police helping you too much. Yeah. I went to the police station, filled out all these forms and interview, and then they just dropped the case. Like, oh, nothing we can do. I was like, I gave them like an email address and stuff and a phone number from the company that used my card, that the guy whoever stole my thing used to buy stuff from. Yeah, but anyway, Olivier referring 20 fights in the weekend with barely any sleep in between has got to be brutal. Such a difficult thing to pull off flawlessly. Story of the fight says. Story of the fight. Also impressed with Brooks grappling in the first, given the size difference. It's not the realm of fighting where you want a size gap. Yeah, I just feel like these bigger guys as well in flyweight and strawweight, they're happy to let Jared kind of pin them down for 5 minutes, tire himself out, and then they know they can maybe exploit him in the second round. I told Jared, just use your boxing a bit more. You've got good boxing. He agreed with me as well. Yeah. Anyway, Martin talking in French here. I study French at school, but I'm a bit rusty. Maintenant, je ne sais pas quel sera l'état d'esprit de l'arbitre. on ce moment can constitute. I didn't get much of that, Martin. I'm really sorry. If I had a copy paste element on these comments, I'd run it through Google Translate. But if anyone speaks French, let me know what he says. Any update about 1174? Jack Zone asking, what have you heard, brother? I have heard a few things, Jack. Nothing I can really say other than what Chatri said already, which is December, I think he said. I've heard December too. And he said Alif and Prajanchai. And I have heard that as well. And I've heard some other things, which I cannot say. Because I was told these things, off record by people. So I don't want to burn them. But it is exciting, yeah. The location is cool. I think it's not what you'd expect. It was meant to be Malaysia. That's what I was hearing before. That's why Alif was going to be main event. Plan was originally Malaysia, but it's fallen through for now. I think it will happen next year, though. Brooks versus Pocket Monk is a cool fight. Story of the fight says. Yeah, I like that. All right, I got to race through this now. Sanjar and Hu Yong. Yeah, not much to say about this fight. Sanjar, I love Sanjar. I think his last few fights, yeah, he's not excelled. Like he was so explosive at flyweight because I think he was quite a big. Sorry, at strawweight, he was quite a big strawweight, right? But he's still a big flyweight, to be honest. Kang fight, this fight, unanimous decisions, but not too thrilling. He knocked out Echo Ronnie, but Echo Ronnie was coming back off having been released, and I think it was quite a long layoff for him anyway. Also, Tatsumi Tsuwada, unanimous decision. So he's not lighting up the stage, the global stage, since getting his contract because he looked really good on Friday fights. They had high hopes for him, and he is very, very good. Let me just say that. But I think he needs to get these finishes. The killer instinct, as Chatri says. That's what Chatri loves. Yeah. Afterward, he called out Jared Brooks, called him a clown. He's good friends with Mansour, so you can watch my interview and stuff. I'll release some clips from that next week. But that's not the biggest talking point on the card. Akif and Zhao Suyai, yeah, great performance from Akif. You can see here that knee knockdown, incredible. Unanimous decision. But a lot of people were upset. Fans were all accusing him of running away. Kudos to Akif. Not only is he good at boxing, but sprinting too. Saved by the ref, says Delirio. Yeah, so Thai fans weren't happy. I asked him about that. He laughed it off the criticism. But yeah, I'll put some more stuff out about that one. But an impressive win to put him right in the top 5 as well. And yeah, new blood at top 5, Akif and Aslam. But great performance. Unlucky for Zhao Suyai, yeah. I thought, but he'll be back. Story of the fights is a big test for a prodigy like Akif, and he passed it very well while also facing some learning opportunities. Nice to see for a hot prospect. Oh, God. Voice is dying. Need to recover. Yeah, Anonymous says, I don't understand the controversy. Akif schooled Jesse. Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, Akif looked pretty dominant, and I don't think he was running away. Some people get upset. And all the Thais lost. It was one of those days where, the Thais just all lose. It happens every now and then, and people get a bit upset, the local fans. So, especially when they all lose to Russians and things. So, but yeah, I thought Akif was excellent. Okay, I have to blitz through this before I lose my voice. Grappling, I don't know anything about grappling, so I'm gonna skip over that. But unanimous decision for Fabricio Andre over Eduardo Granzotto. He told me he'd like Cade Rotolo next, or um, a featherweight title shot. So yeah, he had trouble. The interesting thing there was he failed the hydration 5 times. I think it was. He told me, I don't know what happened. He was a pound under. So yeah, not sure how he kept failing or how he kept pissing so much 5 times in 3 hours. Okay. Selena Flores as well, debut win over Marie McManaman, atomweight. There she is, the Teep Queen. Nice to meet her. She's an interesting character. And what was the other result? The first fight, Shozo Isojima with a 50K for choking out Nicholas. Oh no, it's ground and pound. Sorry, Nicholas Vina. Yeah, I was surprised he got 50K. But I guess Chatri and Juan, Japan's a huge new market for them, and they're looking to make some inroads into the MMA scene as well there. So it looks like they're putting the rocket on this guy. Lightweight could be a new star for them. Oh yeah, Friday fights was pretty good as well. Parham knocking out Tyson Harrison in the main event. But yeah, it was oh, I didn't finish the clip there. Sorry guys. If you want to see it. Yeah, it was a fun couple of days. I'm losing my voice, so I cannot continue talking too long. Teep Queen, you guys can help drive the conversation. Yeah, Teep Queen did well for her debut. Story of the fight says she did. She had a little trouble with the hydration as well. She explained to me in her interview with me what went wrong, but she still made it, just a little bit late. First time is always struggle. Oof. What Martin's talking more French. I don't know what to tell you, Martin. I don't speak French. What do you think? What do you think? Who is the next Myanmar champion? Fight the Felix asked. Well, I would have said Veronica probably has the best chance, but I want to see how she does against Anissa. Although this is kickboxing, so I'm not sure we'll really be able to tell. But she came in with all the hype, and the debut fell flat a little bit. Fair to say, against Miss Scarface. Although it was a great fight, she didn't win. But she was adjusting to the new rules and Muay Thai 4-ounce gloves. So yeah, she looked good against Junior, I think it was. And we'll see how she does against Nisa. Nisa's a tough bitch, so I'm not sure. I think she's impossible to finish. She's gonna have to outpoint Anissa Mexon, which ain't easy, especially when you're not a kickboxer. All right. But yeah, I think she has the best chance, Felix. And I think she's the biggest star out of them all coming up. So, Tanzin looked interesting for a while there, but he's had a few losses now. I spoke to him briefly yesterday. Waylon Tet, looks quite good on Friday fights. Put up a good fight against Samay. Solin, who's always there, the veteran, but I think out of all of them, Vero is the one with the real star potential. Don't show that Tyson fight. Says story of the fight. Not my boy. Yeah, I'm a fan of Tyson, but yeah, Parham was excellent that night. Anonymous, I hope they don't give Selena Flores to Alicia next. I think they will, if they don't do Alicia versus Pedjija. Akif versus Ortikov, the next fight to make Jack's own. I agree. I think that's a great fight. But who knows? Who knows? I could see Akif versus Kontorny and maybe Ortikov versus. Is Superleg ever coming back? I don't think so. To flyweight, I mean. Vera versus Anissa, tough fight. Vera, yeah, agree, Anonymous. Very tough fight. All right, that is me. I think I have to end it. I'm dying here, guys. I made a rookie mistake not bringing in a glass of water, but also talking for an hour and 15 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. That was a long time between podcasts. I'm sorry again. I'm gonna try to be a bit more frequent, but do me a favor. Yeah, go and read this. I really poured my heart into this one, guys. The Aung La feature. Go read it on BangkokPost.com. The link is in my bio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. There's a whole page here. You can get all my articles here on this page. The link will take you there. But yeah, this was a fun one to write. I kind of had a bit of fun with it. Got a bit frilly with my quill out, and wrote a lot of left my heart on the page there, guys. So enjoy it. I posted some of it on my socials, like a little condensed version. So if you like that, yeah, if you got 10 minutes, it's a bit longer than normally the stuff I write, but yeah, the noise started before sunrise. I don't normally start articles like this, but yeah, had a bit of fun with it. By 7:30, lines of Myanmar flags snaked around Lumpini as thousands of Burmese fans waited to see Aung La one last time when he finally emerged. Da, da, da. Yes, a sound was deafening. The roar that followed was deafening. A sound that seemed to shake the steel roof. Yeah, it felt. This was funny. Yeah, it was kind of what I was getting at. It felt like the first time I met him 6 years ago in October 2019. 1 century in Tokyo. Second round, dropped Brandon Vera, and then finished him with that same kind of patient, calculated ground and pound. And you had that same wall of sound in the crowd. Thousands of supporters inside. A similar kind of arena, famous arena, very tightly packed as well, dense, concrete, steel, shouting his name as he rained down these punches. Yeah, that's the night I met him, and yeah, that's poignant for me. I handed him that event program this week I was saying earlier from that show, 1 century. So it was all kind of this full circle thing for me, and that's what I was trying to get at in this piece. So yeah, I think I even made Aung La cry when I gave him that program. But yeah, I did enjoy this piece, so please give it a read. I know no one likes to read anymore. I still consider myself a writer first and foremost. I do all the social stuff. I do video clips on Instagram and Facebook of weigh-ins and face-offs and behind the scenes. But that stuff. Anyone can poke a phone in someone's face, but this is my first love, writing, and I think I'm really good at it. But you may dispute me, but I've always thought I have a skill here, which I love to bring to combat sports and one championship in particular, because there's not much good writing out there covering one or combat sports. So that's what I like to do. So do me a favor, read it if you like supporting me. Yeah, and because everyone just has to do clickbait these days. I understand why, but I'm trying to do some cool content. At least I do stuff that makes me happy now, and I'm glad. I'm not really under pressure to do clickbait. I know a lot of people are, and they get paid per click. Luckily, I've got a better deal than that with Bangkok Post. But there we go. Read my piece, guys. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I'll be pumping out articles again now. I'm off my kind of mini paternity leave. All right. That is it. I gotta love you and leave you guys. Kong Miat says, hello, bro. Thank you so much. I'm from Myanmar. Hello to you too, sir. Thanks for your support. Special fight to end of an era. Will for sure read through that story of the fight. That's why I love you, Big Will. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for reading always. Appreciate you. When a Solin U and Tuilin Tet fights, I don't know. Felix Tuilin Tet just fought, lost to Sameh. Solin U, I don't know. I'll let you know as soon as I find out. I'll post it on my Facebook. Don't you worry. I'll go back and watch the JDB coverage. Story of the fight says. I did another article as well. You may have missed earlier in the show. I wrote one on JDB. Got a bit fancy with that too. Thanks to you, Keith, as well. All right. I gotta go. The voice is just so dead. Okay, guys. I'll be back on maybe tomorrow, definitely Wednesday. Have a good one. Oh.